It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all want a ring. Yeah, we all want to be free.
Hey guys, and welcome to the live stream here. We talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors, and we got my guy here, Mark Orr from Orham's Forum. What's going on, Mark?
Hey, what's going on, Mike? How's it going, man? How's everybody doing in the chat? Let's talk some Lions football.
Absolutely talk some Lions football. And we're going to be talking about Lions and Giants today, latest regarding our Detroit Lions. We're also going to get into, whatever you guys ask about in the mailbag segment. And I believe Ant-Man at some point is going to be joining us. He said he would, so we'll see if that actually does occur. What's going on, Chrome? Lion Gangsta, John Ball, 9 drinks, my guy right there. Paul Ginder, Brandon Kenny, Devin Davis, Dragon fan, Tim. What is up? What is up, Tone Loki? I love the name. Love it. Mark Orham, you're conflicted here because you're a Lions fan first, I believe. But secondly,
right.
You are a Giants fan. So how excited you for this game?
Oh, this is fun right here for me. I bleed Honolulu blue and silver, but I do like the Giants. It's my second team. Yes, I think you are allowed to like a second team. I know a lot of people are like, oh, my God, no, it's like against the golden rule, not being allowed to have a second football team. But I am a Giants fan. Lawrence Taylor was my guy back in the day. Always excited when I see these two guys match up. I've seen it a couple times. I've actually been in Detroit and have watched the Lions versus the New York Giants a couple times over the years. This is a good game. The Giants are having a really good year this year, and the Lions have won 2 games in a row. The Giants are really trying to, I think, cement themselves to get that, to go for the playoff push, and we're trying to make a little bit of noise ourselves. So I'm always excited, man, when it's the Detroit Lions versus the New York Giants.
We got Ant-Man here from Roar of the Lions UK. What's going on, Ant-Man?
Hey, what up, Mike? What up, Mark? Hope you're both doing well. Hope you're both enjoying our second victory week in a row. I know I am. It's been beautiful.
Absolutely. I was waiting for you to get dressed up on your show that you guys do on Roar.
I'm sorry, Mike.
You didn't get dressed up. I was disappointed in you. I pretty much thought that you failed everybody.
Yeah, well, I wanted to get a new outfit because it would have been the same one again, and I don't do, I have to get a bit more extravagant. So I've got some more stuff in now for when we beat the Giants this week. So you will not be disappointed next week, Mike.
So the Lions, there's some news that's coming out that's actually not the Lions related, but it is Lions related. Cooper Kupp placed on IR. Why does that affect Detroit? Because we have their draft pick, their first draft pick, and he is their best player offensively. He runs 30% reception of their offense. Mark Orham, what does this mean for the Lions' chances to get a better draft pick?
Well, this is absolutely huge. He is that offense over there. Don't really know the status of Matt Stafford, but I know he was in concussion protocol. But losing a guy like Cooper Kupp is not only big for Detroit, it's huge for LA. He is that offense over there. And, they are kind of reeling right now, that team, the LA Rams, offensively, defensively. They just don't look like the same LA Rams from last year, obviously. And it looks like it might be John Wolford maybe throwing the ball to who? I don't really know. He's going to be Allen Robinson. But losing a guy like Cooper Kupp is humongous. And it's good for us because, we need the Rams to keep losing to get that draft pick. I think right now we have a top – do we have a top 10 pick from that Rams?
Yes, it's the 8th pick in the draft right now.
8th pick in the draft. So, it could get even better. I don't wish injuries upon anybody or anything like that, but, this is good for the Detroit Lions to get a top 10 pick for sure.
Cooper Kupp goes down. We need all the help we can get for the Lions draft pick. Ant-Man, this is something that we can root for. We don't want to root, obviously, for the Lions to lose, but damn well we can root for the Rams to lose. What does this mean that they're losing a big piece of their offense, and could potentially we get a top 5 pick from the Rams?
Exactly. Why tank when someone else can tank for you? It's the perfect scenario for the Lions, really. Our young guys can stack together some much needed victories, learn how to win games, get that winning mentality developed inside them, whilst another team does the tanking and gets the pick for us. It's the best of both worlds, really. I mean, if we end up getting a top 5 pick out of these guys, people say we've already lost the trade because the Rams won a Super Bowl and that, but we've not got our entire end of the bargain yet. A top 5 pick, and it could be very even trade by the time this is done. We'll get a really good player. We've got a lot of young players who've maybe won 5, 6, 7 games. We're going in the right direction. It's again, don't want to wish injury on anyone. Would never do that. But the cards are aligning where they're going to struggle because with Cooper Kupp, I've never known a team more reliant on one person in my life. I would even go so far as to say he means more to them than Megatron meant to us in terms of that one player. At least when Calvin was around, he did a lot of it, but he did have others around him. There's no one else on that team outside of Tyler Higbee, maybe a little bit, who who Stafford throws to, who does anything to. Even if Stafford's got 160 yards throwing on a day, 130 of it's to Kupp. So it's massive for them. Even when Staff's back, they've had 2 more offensive linemen I saw go down into today. One's out for the season, one's having surgery, out for 6 weeks. Line's already awful. If Staff's not hitting well and Walford didn't look good, it's fate. We might be getting a bit of good luck here. Like I say, you don't like the injuries, but luck is maybe playing its part a little here. We'll get a big pick. We'll still get a first round pick in the draft from ourselves, but we get what we need more, which is wins, not draft position.
Again, when you look at what the Rams are doing, they could have a top 5 pick. Let me know in the comment section. Do you think they will have a top 5 pick, a top 10 pick? Let me know where you think we pick, where the Rams would be. I'll say, man, I'm hoping 5. That would be awesome. You could have a spot, get probably Jalen Carter there, defensive tackle, and it wouldn't even be our own pick. I would love it. I think it'd be fantastic. So let me know in the comment section where you think they/us will pick it with the Rams screw up and fail. Again, let's talk about the Lions here. DeAndre Swift, this is interesting to me. He didn't get utilized a lot in the last game, and game before that, Green Bay, he was upset. What is going on here with DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams? Is he getting passed up, do you believe, Mark, or is this just injury-related? What do you think?
It's strange because it has to be injury-related. It has to be injury-related. He's probably not 100%. I personally don't understand why they keep playing him if he is injured. Or they have completely just, said, okay, we're going to see what Jamal Williams can do. And maybe they're thinking about re-signing Jamal Williams. It's kind of a weird subject to me because are you showcasing DeAndre for next year, possibly maybe trading him in the offseason? You're trying to show some teams that maybe he is healthy. Yes, look, we're still playing him. He's scoring touchdowns. As limited as he's been in the last 3 games, he's scored 3 touchdowns. So he's getting in the end zone. He's just not getting the touches. He looks a little more explosive the last game. But I still think it's an injury. I think it's injury related. I don't know why they would just sit there and just baby him if he's not injury related. It doesn't make any sense to me. I personally, just from where I'm looking at it, I think they're trying to showcase him for next year. I think they're trying to show teams that, okay, look, he is playing. He is scoring touchdowns. We're getting him in the end zone. We're doing this. We're doing that. And he is a really good decoy, to tell you the truth. If they're using him as a decoy, that's fine. But, I personally think it's a showcase. He is getting in the end zone every now and then. So I do like that. I'm just curious what they're going to do at the offseason, man. Are they going to trade him? They're going to sign Jamal Williams? Because there's a possibility we could lose Jamal. And he's having a pretty damn good year. To be honest, I would like the Lions to re-sign him. So it just feels to me like it's a showcase right now. So I don't know, man. What do you guys think?
What do you think there, Ant-Man?
I don't ever like to say it's an attitude issue with players because I don't know and it's unfair to say, so I never will. But for me, Jamal has 9 rushing touchdowns this year. DeAndre has 2. that says it all for me. Jamal is doing the business on the field. He is committed to this team. You've seen he is. He cares a lot about it. He doesn't care. He's the power back. He goes in. He takes all the heavy contact. He does all the heavy work. He has gone and busted his ass off for this team this season, whereas I've just not seen it from DeAndre. I did early, but then after the injury, he missed a few weeks. Since he's come back, he looks like he doesn't want contact. On Sunday, when he made the dash for the outside pylon and jumped in the air, it's like, man, what the hell are you doing? You're helping the defender lever you out on there. You don't want it. You don't want the contact. And for me, I want players who are going to fight for this team, who are going to charge head on in and do what they need to. And, for me, Jamal, I would sign him next year. I'm with Mark. I would bring him back. Because what does this team not really have very many of? It's veterans who care. And he cares more than anybody else about this team. But it's not just that anymore. He's performing on the field. He didn't really last year, but this year he has stepped up, been a man of his word, and he is trying to drag this team across. And I would sooner start him than DeAndre any day of the week at this moment in time. I mean, I'm keeping Jamal, and I'm going into the draft because the draft is a treasure trove of running backs this year, and I'm just going to start again because for me, DeAndre looks like he don't want it, and I don't want players like that here. And, Jamal has earned all the carries he's got. Like I say, 9 rushing touchdowns. Not been done since. Was it say Mikel Leshaw? I don't know how the hell that happened. I really don't. But it's...
Wow. That's
Him on
they
a
give him 9
stat,
carries from
shocking.
the 1 year. But, Jamal's probably going to end this season with 10, 15 rushing touchdowns. So that's hell of a good season. I'm keeping him. I'm keeping the guy who does the business and will, fight for his team.
We had a finger up. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, there's something I want to add to that too that I forgot to say about Jamal Williams. During the trade deadline, apparently there was teams that were interested in Jamal Williams, and the Lions weren't budging. The Lions weren't budging. They were not giving him up. I personally don't know what was being offered for Jamal Williams, but there was rumors out there that there was multiple teams that wanted his services because he is a pretty good running back. And the Lions didn't budge. So that kind of tells me, maybe that the Lions are really thinking about bringing him back next season. And I think it'd be a really good get if they could get him, he's going to be a little bit more money, obviously, because he's having a better year. But he is a heart and soul of that football team, I believe, especially on offense.
Now we're facing the New York Giants. Won 2 games in a row, but the Giants are a difficult team for sure. They're 7-2. They are winning football games. Let's talk matchups here. Just to let people know, the Giants' offense is 22nd in the NFL with 20.8 points per game. Total yards is 325. That's 23rd in the NFL. Passing, they're 29th in the NFL, 161. Third in the NFL in rushing, though, with 164 with Saquon Barkley. +4 in the turnover differential. So they get turnovers. Matchup that you are watching, Ant-Man, in this game, Lions must do.
It's not people I'm watching in terms of matchup here. The matchup is the clock. The New York Giants, they are the 4th best team in the NFL for time of possession. What they do is they run Saquon Barkley so far down your throat that he just tires the hell out of your defense. And then even an average quarterback like Daniel Jones takes advantage of it. And, time of possession is really big for a team. If you're not the most talented, and I think we agree, this New York Giants team is really good. But, there are a lot of teams that are probably better. But, when you win the time of possession battle, you even the playing field up. So for me, it's, this is the true battle. Can you stop Saquon Barkley running on you, get them off the field, and stop them exploiting a tired defense of yours? That's the really big thing for me. But, I would like to think that we could. We're not dealing with a mobile quarterback in Fields this week, so you can give more attention to the actual running back himself. The interior guys have been doing better lately in the run blocking, anyhow. Pass rushing leaves something to be desired. A lot of missed tackles last week, but that's the big one. You've got to stop Saquon Barkley, and you've got to stop them getting the time of possession on you. Like I say, it's huge the advantage they have on teams, and you just can't lose it like that, especially when they've got such a good back. If your defense is knackered, Saquon Barkley will run all over you, and that's what they've done all season. So time of possession is key in this. Got to get them off the field. Got to keep them there.
Giants defense, 19.2 points allowed per game. That's ninth in the NFL. Yards allowed is 350, sorry. That's 18th in the NFL. Passing yards, 217, 17th. Rushing is 133 at 24th. Mark Orem, for you, key matchup in this game. You follow this team probably more than anyone else in the Lions fandom because it is your second favorite team. I'm sorry that you got another team that's not Lions, but it's okay.
All right.
You must not be a real Lions fan that way. But just want to let you know because that's what people tell you. What?
I'll hand my card in.
Yeah, you might as well hand it in if you don't. So what do you think?
Yeah, well, this is a good matchup. I think for the Lions, I think this is a winnable game, but I'm looking to stop Saquon Barkley. I think that, like we talked about that, Barkley, he's must stop, and Daniel Jones is a mobile quarterback. He can get out of the pocket. He's got some wheels. The way to beat those guys is the way to beat Jones is you have to keep him in the pocket because he will get outside the pocket and make a little bit of noise. You have to make him throw the ball downfield. They literally got a gang of misfits at wide receiver. They got guys all hurt. Kenny Galladay's not the same guy. He just got benched. He literally got benched last week, dropping 2 balls. So the key to stop that team is, man, you have to run on them. You have to run on the Giants because they are vulnerable to the run. But what they do really well on defense is they stop teams from scoring. That's what they do. They play that bend but don't break defense. They can get to the quarterback a little bit, but they will give up a ton of yards. They will give up a ton of yards, but then they kind of get real tight in the end zone, in the red zone, and they stop teams from scoring. Like you said, Mike, they were a top 10 defense, not letting teams score on them. So you gotta score on them. You gotta score on them early. You gotta score on them often, and you really have to stop Saquon Barkley because he gets, like Ant-Man said, man, he gets fed the ball all day. Yeah, I think he had something like he's back too. Saquon Barkley is back. He had like 35 carries, I think, last week, man. So he just gets the ball, and he is. I think he is the best running back in the NFL when healthy. He is a force. He is a problem. So you have to kind of stop him. I just don't see how we're going to stop him. I think this is a winnable game, but Saquon Barkley is going to get his, man. So you have to score against this team, and that's the way you're going to beat the New York Giants because they're going to get theirs through the ground for sure.
For me, I think that this game is very similar to the game that we approach with the Chicago Bears there, a team that runs first, pass second, great run game, not good in the pass game. The difference between the two clubs is the turnovers that the Giants get. They're +4, they're good at it, and they don't shoot themselves in the foot like the Bears did on Sunday, where they're consistently getting flag after flag after flag. I think for the Detroit Lions, approach this game very similar. Now, it's a little bit different because Saquon Barkley is the guy who's getting the yards. It's not the quarterback. Now, Daniel Jones does have wheels, but he's not Justin Fields. Saquon Barkley is an absolute monster. The interior, I feel, of the defensive line's gotten a little bit better, helping stop in the run, but can they hold the edges against Barkley, who is really good on those edges? It's going to be a problem. I think the Lions defense should do a decent job holding down these unknown wide receivers because they are unknown. They're not really that good, in all honesty. And I think Jeffrey Okudah can do his job and be fine there. Will the Lions be effective with penalties in this game like they were in the Bears game? We only had 2 penalties in the whole game. That's the type of game you're going to have to bring here because if you start doing penalties and offsides and false starts and holdings, you're not going to win this game because this team, the Giants, are sound. They're a sound team. DeBall keeps this team very, very sound on all fronts, and that's why they're winning. Like, you're not great at one specific area. Oh, this team is just the greatest passing team in the NFL, and their defense is absolutely stout. That's not really the case here. If you go over their statistics, they probably should have a worse record, but they're just so damn sound that they're taking advantage and letting other people kill themselves. And I think that's a smart way to go, and that's when you have good coaching there. But I think the Lions have an opportunity in this game. So let's do predictions really quick. Ant-Man, do a bold prediction in this game, and then do your score prediction for this game.
Bold prediction in this game. I think we can stop Saquon Barkley running on us. I think that is my bold prediction. Like you said, the interior is getting better at stopping the run. The edge guys, the amount of fouls they drew, the amount of holds they drew, because the New York Giants are going to run a lot. So you've got to try and draw those holding calls. I think Larry Borum had 4 holding calls against him in the game against us. Cole Kmet had 3. Riley Reef had 1. The edges were making it a nightmare to stand up, and they're drawing those calls, and you've got to try that again because Chicago stuffed themselves with that. We won that game because of Chicago's indiscipline, but you've also got to congratulate your own players for putting them in situations where they got to hold you. So you've got to show the same intensity, the same aggression again, and hopefully we've got Malcolm back this week as well. I keep Jared Davis in that side because in small packages against guys like this, these are good games for him. So you've got the right personnel to be able to combat what they're all about. And, I fancy my DBs against their wide receivers as well. There's some good guys there, but I think we match up well when it comes to these guys. And then on the flip side of the ball, I think we've got the personnel there. I think we have the edge in the trench for me. I know you've got to watch Lawrence Taylor. You've got to watch guys on that line who are really, really good. You've got to take it out again. But if you can run the ball efficiently, you will be fine. Kayvon Thibodeau can't stop the run to save his life. Go back to college and watch his last 2 games against Utah. They nullified the hell out of him. He's not good at it at all. You can run at him. You can just be really aggressive against them. Win that line of scrimmage. Win the time of possession battle. I was really happy with. We did it against Chicago. There are only 5 drives in the first half against Chicago, and that means they can't put points down on you. So I think if we do the same again, we can beat the Giants. As for my score prediction, I think we can eke a win out. I think it'll be about 24-21 to the Lions. Not disrespecting the Giants at all, but we're a confident young team now. And they have a lot of pressure on them because Philly lost. That division's wide open for them now. Can they deal with the pressure of going after, a title? Can they? There's no pressure on us. We got no to lose at this point, and I think that might have a bearing on it. So I think we eke this one out.
Mark Orm from Orm's Forum. Got to check the channel out. If you don't, you're nuts. And just like he made a community post, just because you predict the Lions loss does not mean you're not a Lions fan. If that was the case, you must predict 17-0 every single year. Mark Orm, bold prediction for this game, and then your score prediction.
Man, my bold prediction, I'm going to kind of piggyback off a little bit what Ant-Man said about Barkley. I think this is bold, so this is real bold. The Lions are going to somehow hold Saquon Barkley under 100 yards. That's what I think they're going to do there. I think they're going to have someone. I don't want to say they're going to have someone spying on him, but there's going to be someone's going to have to be keyed on him 24/7. For 60 minutes on that football field at MetLife, man. So hold them under 100 yards. I think it's going to happen. It's bold, though. It's a very bold prediction. And I haven't picked the Lions in 2 weeks. I haven't picked them in 2 weeks, but I am going to go out, and I'm going to say the Lions are going to upset the world right here, and they're going to come out and they're going to win this game. I'm going to pick 26-23 Detroit Lions. I think it's going to be a really hard-fought game. This is a very winnable game. It really is. Even though the Giants are a good football team, they're well coached. They're doing it with a lot of non-superstars, though. Saquon Barkley is obviously a star, but you look all around that team, there's not a lot of big stars on that team, but like we talked about, coaching is key. And Dayball keeps his check. He keeps them in line. And they're a very disciplined team. They're really disciplined if you watch those guys. So I think I totally think we're going to win this game 26-23, and it's going to be a big upset, man, for the Detroit Lions.
We got 102 in the chat with only 24 likes. Let's get to 50 likes. And if you have not subscribed, hit that big old red subscribe button. Why is that? Because on this channel, we talk all things Detroit Lions, not just myself, but Herman Moore, the great one. And we got some good ideas coming up for some shows, and we talking about it behind the scenes. It's going to be some fun. Bold prediction for me. Look, I've been on the fence regarding this Lions defense and this team. Here's a bold prediction: Lions get 5 sacks in this game, and Aidan Hutchinson gets 2.5 sacks and really makes his presence known. I'm loving what I'm seeing from this defensive line. They're getting better. Now, when you look at the offensive line of the Giants, it's okay. It's ranked around 22. And Evan Neal didn't play last week. I'm not sure if he's going to play in this game or not. Lions should be able to take advantage of that. Lions defense does a good job. They have been getting better every single week. Lions win 24-23 in a close one. I have not predicted Lions win in a couple weeks. But when I looked at the matchup, it's like the Lions have a shot here, and they believe. In the last 2 weeks, what showed me is this defense, you can put it on their back in the fourth quarter. You can. They have won the last 2 games, not allowing no team to do anything. And if you score early on the New York Giants, do you trust Daniel Jones to come back and try to match it? I don't trust Daniel Jones. Let's go. Lions win 24-23. And Dr. Detroit says, I broke the streak, and now we're going to lose. Well, hey, Dr. Detroit, if that's the case, you'll be happy. Then I guess that's the tanking idea. Here's the mailbag segment, folks. If you got questions, we may have answers. Just throw it our way. It's time to chat. Mailbag, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hashtag Lions, baby. Let's get after it. Let's get after it. We got some predictions here. Lions winning 34-23 by Tone Loki. Love the name. Hashtag Lions here. Win the next 2 games. What do you think our record will be at the end of the season? Okay, so if we're 5-6, I would say 7 wins. 7 wins. What do you got, Mark?
Yeah, that's probably, if they can win somehow end up with 5 wins by that time. I'd say a couple more wins, 7-10, 8, 8-9. So yeah, for sure. 7 to 8, 9 wins, for sure. 7 or 8 wins, 100%.
What do you have there, Ant-Man?
If we win the next 2 games, that means we knock off the Buffalo Bills. If we knock off the Buffalo Bills at home, then we're running the rest of this goddamn season, and we're going places.
I thought Buffalo's game 3. I thought we go.
It's New York, then Buffalo, isn't it?
I thought it was New York, Jacksonville, Buffalo.
I thought we were Buffalo.
It's New York. It's New York, Jacksonville, then Buffalo. Yeah, it is.
Oh, is it Jackson? Oh, right, I get it wrong. Right, well, still, if we win the next 2, then I think we can. Wait, no, I thought Buffalo was the short week next week. Is that on the third? Is that Thanksgiving?
Well, they figured that out. Amon-Ra, next game under 80 yards, mailbag. I don't know whenever he gets injured. I think that's really it. If he's healthy, Jared Goff is looking his way quite a bit. Jameson Williams will not be playing on Thanksgiving. They said in December. So that's not going to happen there. Quick one. If it comes down to field goals, who do you trust? I must say, Badgley is giving me a badge of honor right now. He really is. Badgley is getting it done, man. And he's perfect right now. Badge man, just like Ant-Man. I'm trusting him right now. $20 super chat from Mike McCall. Hashtag FGB. Mike, you made your win-loss prediction before the season. Can you compare that to where we are now? I had 7 to 8 wins. Thank you so much for a $20 super chat. By the way, Mike McCall, you're a real one, and I'll let Herm know personally that you did that. Talk to him a lot. That would be, I said 7, 8 wins. So if they were to win the next 2 games, that would make it. But I did change my prediction a couple weeks ago, and I said, man, I don't know how they're going to get past 4 wins. But then they win the next 2, so I guess it's in there. What's your win prediction starting the season, and what do you think it is now?
Me?
Any one of you guys.
I had them at 6 to 7 wins, I believe, and yeah, so I'm not too far behind right now. But if they can win a couple more, maybe they can get a couple more wins. But I had them at 6 wins at least, so I think I'm fairly close. I don't think I had them being at 3-6 right now though, but I'm pretty close. And yes, we do play the Buffalo Bills next. We do.
Oh, okay. So I'm off.
Yeah, it's the
Okay, man. That'd
Bills
be
after.
two New
Yeah, so
York
if we win
teams.
the next two, we're running the table, man.
If we win the next two, I'm gonna do a backflip. I'm gonna do a backflip.
We beat the Bills. Oof.
Micro, how are you doing in your fantasy league? I'm 9-1 in my fantasy league, and I'm about to be 10-1. So just Mark knows because I've beaten him.
You
He
killed
knows
me.
it.
You
I'm
destroyed me.
I'm,
I beat 9 drinks last week though. Yeah, 9 drinks.
hey,
I beat you.
I'm
And
beating
my team's
everybody.
terrible.
I'm a master beater right now in that bag. Hashtag smashed a hole. How many yards do y'all think St. Brown and Kennedy gonna have? I'll say 150. What do you just put in a yard there, Ant-Man?
Oh, Amon Ra's going to have over 100 again. Kennedy, I reckon, will get about 40, 50-ish.
What do you got, Mark?
Yeah, I'd say all together, man. I'd say for sure Brown over 100. I'd say 110, 112, and then an extra 20, 30 for Kennedy. So about 130, 140 yards.
Lions win in New Jersey. JMO comes back versus Jacksonville, and Barkley under 70 yards. That would be an amazing stretch of football right there. Lions, do you guys think Malcolm Rodriguez and Josh Reynolds play this week? I don't know. Malcolm Rodriguez probably seems more logical. It seems like Josh Reynolds is the back maybe a little worse than we thought, but honestly, I don't know. And as soon as we hear anything, I will let you guys know for sure. So make sure you guys follow me on Twitter personally at MicroMike85 or Lions Nation Unite on there. Lions Nation U, just in case something pops up. But I have not heard anything on that one at all. Let's see here. Hashtag F the Bears. Lions take a quarterback in the top 10. Should they take their chances on a developmental guy like Michael Penix, Jordan Travis, or Grayson McCall in the later rounds if the Lions don't take a quarterback early in the draft? What do you think, Ant-Man?
I don't think they should take one top 10. I think they should take KJ Jefferson from Arkansas as soon as he declares for this draft. That's where I'm at.
What about you, Mark?
I want defense. I still want a quarterback somewhere within the first 2 rounds. I like Michael Penix Jr. though. I think that kid's pretty good. I think McCall got hurt though. Don't know a lot about Jordan Travis, but I wouldn't mind a Michael Penix Jr. I do like him, but I'm still kind of on the fence with grabbing one in the top 10, even though we do need defense really bad. I know we need a quarterback eventually though.
It's a great question here from Weston Lyon. LNU, do you think the Rams pick comes before ours in 23? Yes.
Man,
I'm going to say yes because they're injured. Their offensive line is terrible. They're going in the wrong direction. Stafford's throwing picks while injured. I'm going to say yeah. What do you got, Ant-Man?
Rams are going to be above us. I think easy does. I mean, don't forget they're in the tougher division, in my opinion, as well. So their schedule is rough. They've got the Saints next. I know they're not right, but it's at the Dome. It's in New Orleans. Then I think, what's the rest of their schedule? Their schedule is rough. We had it on our stream the other day, and I was like, I can only see 1 or 2 more wins for them at most.
That's
really
what I had
rough.
in my
They've got to
win-loss
play the
bracket
Seahawks
for them.
twice.
Yep.
I think they play away at the Cardinals because they lost to the Cardinals at home. They've still got to go to San Francisco,
49ers,
I think,
yep.
as well. They've got a rough as hell
Kansas
schedule.
City Chiefs.
So I think they're going to be. I don't even think it's going to be close. I think they might be at least 10 positions between where they're picking and where we're picking.
What do you got, Mark?
Yeah, man. I definitely think that it could happen. Like the Ant-Man said, their schedule is tough, man. At the beginning of the year, this team had a tough schedule. And now it's not. Now it's Seattle's good all of a sudden. San Francisco doesn't look like they're going away, man. They're a relentless defense. Arizona has their number. So, and they play a couple good teams like Kansas City Chiefs, you said, Mike. So, I don't know how many wins this team's going to get, man. They could be a top 5 pick, and it's going to be ours. So 100% it could happen. And I think it very well might be. Guys, with Cup going down, Stafford's not the same. It's not looking good for the Rams, man.
He's the same, just not last year's Stafford.
He's.
You know what I was saying.
He's not,
Hashtag
guy can't
mailbag.
get a run game, can he? Poor guy can't get a run game, can he? They said no running back there has gone over 60 yards this season. It's like,
Hashtag mailbag.
Just
Do
like
you
the
guys
days
think we
when he was
still
here.
get Bryce Young? Do you think we get Bryce Young?
No, he's a number 1 pick. He's a number 1 pick. We ain't going to be that high, unfortunately. He would be the guy, though. If we were still at 1 and still tanking, he would be the guy for me. But no, we ain't going to get there.
Get Bryce Young? You think we get him?
No, man. I don't think we're going to get him unless we trade up to get him. Because if we win a couple more games, we're not going to get that top 3 pick.
Yeah, that stinks. It does stink. Hashtag FGB. Do y'all think Jamal Williams is going to be RB1 if we part ways with Swift? First off, Jamal Williams is on the last year of his deal, so we'd have to extend him. I think the Lions either way are going to draft a running back. But maybe he does come back. I'm like 50-50 on it. I don't really know what they're going to do there. They do like to re-sign their own guys. We've seen that last year. But I don't know what it – I say 50-50 on it. I say 50-50.
Yeah.
Not 100%.
This draft is full of running backs. I think you can go and get one and have another 5 year or 4 or 5 years with a guy. I think it's the most sensible thing to do. Bring Jamal back and draft a guy to go with him who gives you something a bit different.
Super chat from Paul Ginder. Thank you so much. He says, hashtag smash the hole. How many yards do you guys think Jamal gets over? Do you think he gets over 100 yards? I'm going to say no, not in this game. He doesn't get over 100 yards. What do you got there, Mark?
You know what? I think he's capable of getting it because you can run on the New York Giants, man. So I'm going to say he does. I'm going to say he gets over 100, man. I'm going to say he has a really big run and he gets over 100 yards. I think he can.
Could you imagine the Lions coming away with a couple of those Georgia Bulldog defenders in the first round, say Davis and Ringo? You've seen a lot of mock drafts where Keely Ringo is coming to the Lions, and it makes a lot of sense because they do need help opposite of Jeff Okudah. Having a Ringo, Jerry Jacobs, and Okudah, that would be a pretty sound-looking defense, back end of a defense. It would. Or a Jalen Carter.
I honestly think Ringo's going top 5. His ascent is massive. Unless the Rams really screw up.
Yep.
Unless the Rams really screw up, I think he might even be a bit too high.
What if the Rams are a top 2 pick? Well, us/Rams top 2 pick. I tell you what, root for them to lose and root for the other teams to win, baby.
You take Jalen Carter if you're top 2 from that Georgia defense.
If you're top 2, man, I'm going quarterback. I'm just telling you, that's what I'm doing there. If we get a top 2 pick, someone's coming to Detroit.
Wow.
That's me. The Stafford trade will hopefully be remembered as the trade that turned the Lions around. The pick last draft got us Jameson Williams. Then in 2023, the pick is a top 10. For sure, 5 through 10. Yeah, man, look, that's what you got to do is you got to draft your guys, and that's why we traded away Stafford. I know a lot of people were mad about it, but we were so broken as a football team, we need to acquire talent. When Jameson Williams gets in here, we need help at wide receiver. He's going to light it up. And then if you do get a premium talent, that's what it's looking like in the draft, it's going to help the team out. And it was a trade, both wins, both team wins. They got a Super Bowl, we got talent. So
that's it. When you're trading away the premium talent, you are going to get the later part of the bargain. You ain't going to get instant gratification out of it. So it's all a case of waiting. Because, I mean, another thing, if it is that high and we decide, we don't want to go quarterback or we go later, you flip it and trade down and get even more picks from it. gives you more chance of landing on guys for this franchise. It can end up doing us a hell of a lot of good for this. Or it's that high that we can get a quarterback and we can trade our pick down and get more picks. All these ramifications that come from it, you've got to wait till at least 2 years after this 2023 draft, and then we will have had all our side of the bargain from it, and you'll see how good the players are. But potentially we're getting a lot out of it. If he's part of that deal, if he can come back, be healthy, you've got a good guy there. It worked for us both.
We got 130 in the building. Let's get 9 more likes to 50. 9 more likes to 50. Helps the channel out, and if you ain't subscribed, do that right meow. Hashtag FGB. Do y'all think we're going to be buyers or sellers this offseason? I think we're going to be buying in free agency, and I think we're going to be aggressive in the draft. I think this is going to be the biggest offseason that we've had under Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. 100%. Look for them to get some premium players. That's for sure. What do you got, Mark?
I definitely think so, too. I think we're going to be buying. It's year 3. We're supposed to have $24 million in cap. That's not including probably releasing guys like Michael Brockers. You could see Vaitai gone. You could see a couple guys gone. We're going to get apparently a big chunk of change to spend some money. And I think this is where Brad Holmes opens up the wallet and spends a little cash to get at least 1 or 2 big names over here, or big-ish. He has to do something, man, in year 3, 100%.
Hashtag F New York Giants. Do you guys think we should take Blake Corum in the 3rd round? What do you have, Ant-Man, on Blake Corum?
First of all, I'll just say he's a really damn good running back.
He is.
He's having a Heisman caliber season at Michigan. However, the thing for me is, I would keep Jamal Williams next year, and he's a power back. And, Blake Corum is a power back. He ain't a receiving back. He's not a very good receiver. Doesn't need to be in that Michigan system. For me, I've seen what we do with DeAndre Swift, what it gives to your offense to have a genuine bona fide dual threat running back in your backfield. I would prefer to go for another one of them. Personally, that is just my own personal feeling. I would like to get, Jahmyr Gibbs is one of the best examples of this, one of the best dual threat running backs in this league. He would be great here. And I would also look at guys who've not had it easy, going through college. Because that Michigan offensive line is a monster. It's a beast. And, can he do it at this level when maybe he doesn't have that offensive line as well? I mean, we've got a good one here, but, I'd be looking at guys who've got production at schools where the offensive lines are not so good, the situations are not so good. Your Israel Abanikanda, like him from Pittsburgh, he's got 1,200 yards this year in the ACC. No other running back's got over 900 in that league. It's bloody difficult. And he has had an amazing season, 18 touchdowns in there. I kind of look at guys like that, and that's just my own personal preference, though. That would be where I'd go. But if we got Corum, I wouldn't complain. They're all Lions. I'll back them all either way.
I like Blake Corum, man. He's a muscle hamster. I'd like to have him on this team. He'd look good in Honolulu blue and silver. I gotta say that. Hashtag FGB. Would you rather rather a wild card run or a better pick this year, Mark Orem? My God, that was getting cut up by wordsmithing right there.
Yeah, I'd rather go, and get a wild card run. I'd love to make the playoffs, man. The better pick. Sometimes that better pick doesn't really necessarily mean anything. I'd rather make the playoffs, man, and try to win a big game in advance in the playoffs. So yeah, man, give me wild card all day.
What do you want? Wild card, better pick.
I want wild card. The best thing for my young players is winning games.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching them that they can make the wild card, that it's within their capability. So that when the next group of guys come in next season, it's like, right, guys, there are expectations here now. You need to come in and contribute because we are a team that's going places. Wins and wild cards and playoffs, that's what it's all about. Setting the expectations, and we've got to start setting our expectations higher. So, of course, I'm taking a wild card.
Play to win the game, baby. Want to win. It's been a long time since we've had a winning team here and been to the playoffs. Hashtag mailbag. We saw the limits of Goff's arm Sunday. 45 yards concern. Here we go with Jared Goff. Jared Goff! Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Jared Goff. All right. Do you
we
see the
just-
limits of his arms? Because you see the comment section blows up as soon as you hear Jared Goff. So does he is? You saw the limits of his arm. Is that a concern for the 45-yard that he tried to throw that Hail Mary pass and it was 10, 15 yards away from the end zone?
Yeah. You asking me first?
Yeah, I'm gonna just go with
Yeah, man, that was that was so bad. I don't even know why they even attempted to do that because he got killed on that play. He got killed on that play, and he threw that ball. He put all his might into that ball, and it barely traveled 45 yards. And it went, and it like got
but
10 yards, and it got to the 10-yard line, and I'm like, what are they doing here? I'm like, what are they trying to do here? That's embarrassing, man. Like, he threw it 45 yards with all his might. Like, I'm 50. I'm almost 50, and I bet you I can hit 40 yards. Like, that's bad, man. Like, he does not have an arm to do that. And I thought it was dangerous, for one, for doing it because he did get killed in the process. And B, you're showing off his arm strength, his lack thereof, actually. And it's just, I thought it was
his receivers that made him throw it.
His receivers made him throw it to the 10-yard. I get it. His receivers made him throw to the 10-yard line, and he put all his effort into that ball, man. He put all his effort. I'm like, oh, Jared.
It's defense. Jared Goff.
Yeah, it wasn't good, man. It wasn't good, man. It just, we kind of knew that he didn't have a big arm, but I thought he could at least throw it 50. I thought he could throw it 50. He barely got that 45, man. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta say though, it doesn't mean big arms don't mean everything. Tim Boyle's got a cannon.
No,
that dude throws it to he's trying to throw it 10 yards and it goes to Las Vegas. So I mean, it doesn't mean everything. What do you think about Jared Goff's arm where you're throwing it right there? He threw everything and it goes 40 yards.
Rainbow.
It is kind of what we expected. We were not expecting a cannon-armed quarterback in. I mean, you know what? At the end of the day, about Jared Goff, if we get 6 or 7 wins this season and end the season with a bang, then I will look upon his tenure here quite fondly. He came in a rough situation. He helped steady the ship while we started building the team. He gave us he gave us a little bit of momentum in his second year. And you know what? I will remember him fondly for that. But his ass is getting cut next year, and it will be the end of it. We'll be on to our new guy, but I think he's done a commendable job here overall in the circumstances. And like I say, if we get some more wins on the board, I'll be really grateful for him. Actually,
I just
look, man. He gets more wins on the board. They're gonna, this fan base is gonna want to give him $50 million.
Yeah, but thankfully, I think our GM is smart enough. I think our GM is smart enough to know. I mean, we were always going to give him people rock Brad Holmes for last offseason, but you were always going to give him 2 years. It was
I did not rock him. Anybody knows I was one of the first ones to come out and say I like the trade. Everyone's like, Jared Goff is terrible. He's the worst quarterback in the NFL. I said, no, he's a mid quarterback. Oh, he's 32nd. Yeah. He's 32nd. I said, it's not that bad, man. He's an average quarterback, and last year I was not blaming that on him. He had nothing. No. This year is a little bit different, But you see good Goff, bad Goff. But to me, I'm just looking for the guy, and I just don't.
But I mean, if you drafted a young quarterback instead of getting Goff, I mean, and you'll roughly be in the same situation now because of how screwed the cap is, how screwed the squad is. Yeah. You're going to be in a similar situation to what you are now. You're about to be going into year 3 of your rookie QB's contract, and you're already looking towards paying him. What that's going to do for you going forward when you're paying full dollar on a quarterback? So it was always the sensible decision. When your team is so barren of talent, like when he came here, you need a few years to draft players, start building that team up again, and make him worthy of a rookie quarterback. I don't care what his decision.
He could have the worst stats, 32 out of the NFL last year, even though that's not what it is.
Yeah.
I wasn't blaming that on him. That was walking into a buzzsaw trash roster. We're talking about Williams, Rashard Perryman.
Rashad Perryman. That was the best one. Rashad Perryman.
Like, it was
Wow.
butt
Oh,
cheeks,
dear.
man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy that Amon-Ra St. Brown came back halfway through the season. He started building up, but there's no matter what. I was blaming last year on him. This year,
Oh,
it's a
that's,
little bit different, man.
we know what he is. We know what he is, man. He's
Yeah.
he's an average quarterback, man. He's
Yeah.
he can
Is he
be
top
bad, he
10?
can be good. He's run of the
But your
mill,
new,
man.
yeah.
He's not
But your
he's
new
not
young
horrible.
quarterback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need a
Your,
younger quarterback that's mobile.
Yeah.
I
but
think
your new young
personally.
quarterback is coming into a team that's brimming with young talent now, that's
Better.
ready to
Yeah.
start making leaps forward. This is the perfect time to put
Perfect
a new
time.
quarterback in. Not 2
Agree.
years ago. Not 2 years ago. That would have been rough. It was. You've got to look at the Jared Goff trade and almost forget about him and look at the timeline to how they're building the roster. They're having a steady guy just to steady the ship while they fill up so many other holes on this roster. And going into year 3, they will have done that. There are so many young studs on this team now, and you're seeing how well it's starting to play. So they did it just right for me, just right. And like I say, Goff can go somewhere next year. If he does win 6, 7 games, he might get a gig elsewhere. So it works for him, it works for us. Everybody wins.
Yeah. 100%. Like 100%. I'm not a Goff hater. I'm not infatuated with Jared Goff where, I have pictures of him on my wall. I just want the better team, the best player. You know what I'm saying? When in the draft, I wanted Justin Herbert when we had Matthew Stafford. That's the type of person I am. I'm willing to take the best player available, and if it's a quarterback, it's a quarterback. That's the way that I see. I don't have pictures of Jared Goff on my wall, and I don't dream about him and pray to Jared Goff and have thoughts about
He'd
this
never
dude.
take Tim Boyle's place, would he, Mike? Tim Boyle's always going to be on your
Tim
wall.
Boyle's on my mind 24/7. Tim Boyle is I tell you what, though, if Tim Boyle was active with that duck throw that Goff did, I'd have put Tim Boyle in there instead just for him to heave it to the end zone. I would have done that. I'm like,
Yeah,
at least this dude can
for
heave it.
sure.
I bet Nate
He's-
Sudfield could have reached out and thrown it that far. He's huge. I bet he could have reached his arm out and thrown it as far.
Sudfeld's got an arm.
Yeah. I would. That's something that definitely is. If Goff has a cannon, I have a missile arm. Well, he has like a North Korean cannon of an arm. It's like kind of just like Jared Goff, or sorry, like Jared Davis in there. Oh man, but that's just the way I am about any player. I think the quarterback position is the most important position on a football team. I think everybody can agree with that. But when it comes to the draft, like if there's a better prospect, I'm going to draft whoever it is, even if you have, like I said, we had Matthew Stafford. I wanted Justin Herbert. Stafford's got an elite arm. He doesn't have a noodle arm. That dude can throw it 80 yards on a dime. He just throws interceptions every once in a while. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Sure.
I'm not going to get into the hustle of I'm not going to talk about or make 5 million Jared Goff videos and, say Jared Goff is a bum every single day. Just not going to do that because I personally don't believe that. I hope he wins every game.
Yeah.
I think he's a mid quarterback. He's a Ryan Tannehill. He's a Jimmy Garoppolo. He's that type of guy that you can win with him. You can.
I think he played damn well against Chicago.
Yeah,
I was shocked by how much we passed. I was shocked by how much we passed, which is why I'm really intrigued to see what we do against the Giants this week. Whether maybe they just think, oh, Detroit's going to try and run on us every single play, so they're like, what, screw it, we'll pass on you on every play, and we'll keep daring you to stack the box against us in the hope that we go back to it. So, but he looked really good under pressure, really good.
Yeah.
Well, he's efficient, man. He's efficient. He was efficient against the Bears. If you're not asking him to do a whole hell of a lot, then he, hit some short shots. Maybe occasionally throw a ball over 20 yards. But man, that's what he is. That's exactly what he is. If you want him to put a team on his back, that's not the type of quarterback he is. But he was efficient on Sunday, man. He had a nice completion percentage. He threw a couple really nice balls. Didn't do anything special. They asked him to manage the game, and that's what he did. And then a really beautiful drive at the end of that game, man. A couple penalties helped us out, but he was very efficient on Sunday. He was. Mm-hmm. See, I can be nice about Goff. I can be nice about him. See?
When he plays good, you get credit. When you play poor, you're gonna get it. And that's just the way that it works. It's the same with a coach and a quarterback. They're gonna take all the praise and they're gonna take all the hate. We winning. He don't need to worry. Like I said, it's his. Like if he wants to stay in Detroit, all he's got to do is win. If we sit there and we make a playoff run, win a playoff game, there's no way. I would be saying, nah. Yeah, we didn't do a Stafford Goff win a playoff game. Yeah, he's staying. You know,
Right,
that's what you got to do, man. So it is what it is.
What it is.
Let's see. Lions, do you guys think our defense can get 2 interceptions? You could. Daniel Jones is not the greatest quarterback in the world. I would take Goff over Daniel Jones. I think that we can get some interceptions on him. Kirby, come back in that bad boy. Let's go. Get pressure on Daniel Jones and do what we did with Akuda on Sunday.
Yeah, Daniel Jones is very, very turnover prone. Very turnover prone. He's not as bad this year, but he is turnover prone.
Yep.
Yeah,
we draft a quarterback. We're
level
going to have to
turnover
develop him. So what do we do with Goff then? Do we cut him? I'm fine either way. If they wanted to get a quarterback and have him sit, fine with it. If they want to get a quarterback that feel the dude's ready, I'm fine with it. I'd leave that up to the coaching staff. I'm all about better the team for the long haul, not just 1 year. So
Yeah.
that's my reason. They did it, Patrick Mahomes and Alex Smith. That was a developmental process. You've seen it there with Aaron Rodgers, developmental process. But you've seen other cases where quarterbacks started and they've done well. So it just depends whatever the coaching staff and Brad Holmes think.
I think you will see a situation where if they are going to keep him 1 year to basically babysit a rookie, I think you
Fine
will
with
see
it.
the contract I think you will see the contract redone because guaranteed money runs out this year. So I think you will see the contract redone because 30 million is too much. You know, it's
Way
a
too much.
seventh of our overall budget. That's what he is against the cap next season. You get over
That's
20 million
unacceptable
by
for what
putting
he's
him.
for what he's doing.
Exactly.
That's unacceptable.
So I think there is a world where it gets to the end of the season and they say, look, you know what, Jared? Give you 1 more year. We're going to draft a quarterback. We're going to draft a rookie. However, he's going to have to sit. He's going to have to learn. You're going to have the reins next season. You're going to have another draft class. You're going to have some free agents who are going to come in who are going to spend money on. Now's your chance to get us to the playoffs. You know, that's your chance there. So you're giving Jared Goff incentive to stay here on maybe a little less money to show that he can still do it. And you've got your rookie who you're developing in the background. So I certainly see a situation where that could happen, especially if we just miss out on a wild card this season or we end up the season hot, something like that. I think there is a sweet spot we can hit, which is good for team cap, Jared Goff, new quarterback for all of us.
I'm perfectly fine. You know, I'm all about the betterment of the team for the long haul. What is better for the football team in the long haul? Matthew Stafford started right away. If he wasn't injured, I think he probably would have been pretty good the first 2 years. I thought he could do it, but unfortunately got injured. But there's quarterbacks that need that time. So either way, if whatever is better for the team, I'm for it. And I want to win next year. Make no mistake about it. I'm not here to, we'll do a top 5 draft pick. Nah, we need to be wild card in contention next year. That is my personal opinion. This team would have the talent. You're talking about another draft and free agency, upgrading the roster. We need to be in contention. If they feel Jeff Okudah is the guy and not a rookie quarterback, I'm all for it. Jeff Okudah, 5th-year option is coming up. Picking it up? Yes, I am picking it up.
Yeah.
100% picking that up. 100% picking it up. We're seeing now, you know, it's coming in spurts on why he was picked 3rd overall. He's finally healthy. He's making plays. You know, he's not the perfect corner, but this is really, if you look at it, this is literally his first season. If you really want to kind of get into it, man, with him being fully healthy, and he's making plays, man. He's locking down some guys. Pick 6 last week. You have to pick that up for sure. I think so.
And it gives the team that extra year to see that he can stay healthy. You know, you don't run the risk. If you get 2-3 years of solid play out of him with just minor injuries here and there, then you feel more comfortable giving him the bag when you're ready to. So it works for both teams, given the injury situations he's had so far.
Intuition tells me that Bryce Young may fall out of the top 5 solely because of his size. You know what's interesting about that? If you look at some of the media like CBS, you look even at Mel Kiper Jr., for whatever reason, even PFF, some of these guys have Will Levis and C.J. Stroud ahead of him. I don't think he falls out. I think he's the first pick in the draft, but
He's going tough.
When the literal
I
only
think
knock
he's going
you
one.
have,
I think he's going one.
when the literal only knock you have on a player is his size, that tells you just how good he is. That you're talking about his size. I mean, look at Rodrigo. He absolutely fell because of his size. But you know what? I bet there's a lot of teams who'd have picked him 100 positions higher than we did at this moment in time. He's got everything you need, and there are NFL scouts, people around who are telling you he is a top 10 pick. They know a lot better than most of us, and they don't seem to think the size is an issue, and it shouldn't be. And this Bama side, I'll give this. C.J. Stroud has a wealth of talent on that team. One of the best running backs in the country. Swathes of first-round receivers to throw out. Bryce Young does not have that at Alabama. People say that, it's Bama. It's not the same Bama as usual this year. He lost Mechie and J-Mo. None of his receivers that he's playing with at the minute are going to be going high in a draft. Every single one of C.J. Stroud's is going to. Some of the results he's pulled out this year, the ability to extend plays, the ability to drop dimes wherever he goes, he's tough, he's physical, he's gritty. He's the embodiment of Detroit. This would be a perfect place for him to land that field.
This is the type of comment that frustrates me. Quit hating on Goff and loving on defense. Let me tell you something. Where am I hating on Goff at? Because I don't get on my knees to him?
Yeah, what do you want us to do,
He's one player on a team. I criticize everybody. Goff is a quarterback. What do I say he's a mid quarterback? How is that hating?
It's incredible, bro. You can't say nothing about the guy. Some people just absolutely love him. They think
that's fine. You can love the guy,
but it's like you can't say anything critical of him. It's the weirdest thing, man.
I criticize Aidan Hutchinson. You can criticize him, right? No. That's perfectly fine to criticize Aidan Hutchinson. It's fine to criticize any other player on the team. Penei Sewell, Frank Ragnow, Taylor Decker, linebackers, defensive linemen, but you can't criticize the quarterback. Weird. Enough of it, man.
It's strange. It's very strange, man. He's an average quarterback. What do you guys what do you guys want us to say? You want us we're not going to tell you he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL because he's not. It's not what he is, man. It's not, he's not terrible. He's not horrible. He's not great. He's middle of the road, man. That's what he is. So it's not hate, man. We're not hating on the dude, man. We might joke around a little bit about his arm strength. It's just we're just having fun there. But
my favorite player coming into this season was Amani Oruwariye. Who's dumped on Amani Oruwariye the most? Yeah. Me. I'm dumping on this guy, okay? Good grief, man. And Tim Boyle. There gets a point where it's just a player. Right? You can criticize. Just because I don't have the Lions going 17-0 doesn't mean you're a Lions fan. You're not a Lions fan. Good God, man. We got to stop this. It's ridiculous. You're not. If you don't hear me, if you don't agree with me, you're this.
It's not going to stop, bro. It's not going to.
Everyone has their opinions. I respect it. If you love Jared Goff and you think he's the best quarterback in the NFL, perfect. Hell, I got friends that think the world's flat. I don't care. That's their thought. I'm not going to tell people what to think. But don't tell me that I don't have Jared Goff on my ceiling and I pray to him every night that I'm not a fan and I'm being critical. It's just one guy, man.
It's just one dude.
Give him some love. Like what?
About what? Love.
What have I done?
We said he had a good game against Chicago.
Great games against Chicago. Hold on. Let me get my mouth open. I got to give him a little more love. Jared Goff, wife, watch out. I mean, come on, man.
Like, what do you want us to say, man? He had a great start of the year. He kind of, they got figured out. Some injuries happened. He kind of showed his true colors a little bit, what he is. There's a reason why he's not in L.A. There's a reason why he's not in L.A., but he's not terrible. He is a starting quarterback. But, man, what do you want us to say, man? We can't make up stuff. He's decent. He's okay. He's good.
So if you are a Lions, at least support your quarterback. Okay, Burgers. If you're a Lions fan, then you better support Amani Oruwariye.
Yeah, do support him.
He's on the roster. You better support Jared Davis since he just got his start. You better support every single player on this team or you're not a Lions fan.
It's okay to criticize, man. It's okay. We do support them, but we're going to criticize them at the same time, man.
What makes one person better than the other? Maybe I ask.
Of course he pulled it off.
Why aren't you supporting every player on the team?
3 penalties in that fourth quarter by the Bears too, though. Okay? So remember that. Remember that, too. It wasn't just Jared Goff, and it wasn't just those receivers, man. And let's be realistic when you start talking about these guys, man. Come on.
Right here is it. Let's be objective about it. You criticize a player, and I'm not even going to say him, when they stink, and you give love when they do great. When Aidan Hutchinson was doing nothing, what did I say? He's got to play better. When he gets sacks, great. Love it. When Jared Goff throws interception, that's not good. He's got to play better. When he wins a game and he throws a bunch of touchdowns, great. What else to say? I don't know what else to do. I'm not going to be a homer and say we're the best team in the NFL, we're going to the Super Bowl, we're 17-0. I'm not going to do that. I'm allowed to criticize players. That's what you have to do. You have to be realistic.
You have to be objective. Like
if you want me to be a freaking homer on The Simpsons, well, you're going to be lied to 24/7. I'm not going to do that.
Wrong channel for that, man. Wrong channel for that.
But with that said, folks, I had to finish that bad boy off because as soon as they come up, I already know. And I'm going to have videos made about me. Dude, oh no. Whatever, man. I don't even care, man. Just go ahead and do that. But appreciate you hanging out. Mark Orm, what do you got to say to the folks when we close this bad boy out?
Hey, man. Thanks a lot, Ant-Man. Thanks a lot, Mikey, man. It was fun. I love talking. I'm a little bit tired today. Sorry if I'm not into it. Long day at work. Thanks, everybody in the chat. It's okay to be critical of your quarterback and your players on your team. You have to be objective for everybody. But thanks a lot, guys. Don't forget to hit me up on Orm's Forum, Mark Orm, Orm's Forum. I talk Detroit Lions every day, make videos every other day or every day. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
Yes, there's other creators that make fantastic points, but that has nothing to do with me and has nothing to do with the two people on here.
I don't care what everybody else does.
Why bring up other creators? Why bring it up if they're not on here? I'm not talking about them. Do you see me talk about other? No. Ant-Man, what you got to say?
I don't know. It's terrible, isn't it? It's just, I don't know. Anyhow, I'll just say thanks to you and Mark, for having me on as always. I love coming on, doing this show, and to everyone in the chat for engaging with us. I'm just happy that we're on 2 weeks of wins at the moment. I'm feeling a lot better than I've felt in a long time. I love coming on these shows and being optimistic and positive about the Lions going forward. And I'm hopefully looking forward to a win in week 3. So, thanks for having me on as always. And, looking forward to this weekend.
I appreciate everybody hanging out. Let's have a good one. Lions win on Sunday.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't